Stella?
Hmm?
Baby! My baby sister!
Blanche, what is the matter with you?
He's left?
Yes.
Will he be back?
He's gone to get the car greased. Why?
Why, I've been half crazy when I found out you came in after him. I almost followed after you.
I'm glad you didn't.
What's the matter with you? Answer me.
Blanche, sit down and stop yelling.
All right, Stella, I'll repeat the question quietly now. How could you come back to a place like this? Why, you must have slept with him.
I forgot about how excitable you are, Blanche. You're making much too much a fuss of all this.
Am I?
Yes, you are, Blanche. I know how it must have seemed to you, and I'm sorry that it had to happen. But it wasn't anything so serious as you seem to take it. In the first place, when men are drinking and playing poker, it's nowhere for a woman to be. It's always a powder keg. He didn't know what he was doing. He was as good as a lamb when I came back. He really was. And he was very, very ashamed of himself.
And that makes it okay?
No, it isn't all right for anybody to make such a terrible row, but people do sometimes. Stanley's always smashed things. Why, on our wedding night, as soon as we came in here, he snatched off my slipper and he was smashing the light bulbs.
He did what?
He smashed all the light bulbs with the heel of my slipper.
And you weren't terrified by this? You didn't run, didn't scream?
I was kind of thrilled by it. You and Eunice have breakfast?
Do you suppose I wanted to?
There's some coffee on the stove.
You're so matter-of-fact about it, Stella.
What other can I be? He's taken the radio to get it fixed. It didn't hit the pavement, so only one tube was broken.
And you're just standing there smiling.
What do you want me to do?
Pull yourself together and face the facts.
And what are the facts, in your opinion?
In my opinion, you're married to a madman.
No!
Yes, you are. Only your fix isn't worse than mine. You're not even being sensible about it. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to get myself out of here, and I'm going to make myself a new life.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've given up. You're not even old. You can get yourself out of this.
I'm not in anything I want to get out of.
What? Stella?
I'm not in anything that I want to get out of. Look at this mess. They went through 2 cases last night. Stanley said he's going to stop having those poker nights, but you know how long that promise is going to last. I mean, oh well, it's his pleasure. It's just, you gotta accept people's habits, like bridge or, I don't know.
I don't understand you. What's this indifference? Is this some sort of Chinese philosophy you've cultivated?
Is what? What?
The shuffling about and mumbling. One tube smashed. Beer bottles on the floor. Dirty this. There's a mess in the kitchen. As if nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Are you shaking the thing deliberately in my face?
No.
Get that out of your hands. I won't have you cleaning up after him.
Are you gonna do it?
I?
Didn't think so.
Oh, and let me think. If only my mind could function. Gotta get a hold of money. That would be a way out.
Money's always a good thing to get a hold of.
I have an idea. Do you remember Shep Huntley? I went to college with him. I wore his pin for a while. Well, I met him last winter. We ran into each other on Christmas Eve when I was in Miami. You know, I went there for the Christmas holidays.
No.
Well, I took the trip as an investment, thinking I'd meet a man with $1 million.
Did you?
Yes, I ran into Shep Huntley. We met up on Biscayne Boulevard about Christmas Eve, around dusk. Well, he was driving a Cadillac convertible. It took about a whole block long.
I think that'd be rather inconvenient for traffic.
You've heard of oil wells?
Yeah, remotely.
Well, he has them all over Texas. Texas is literally spouting gold into his pockets.
My.
Well, you know how indifferent I am to money. I think of money as what it could do for you. But this could do it. This could really do it.
Do what, Blanche?
Why, set us up in a shop.
What kind of shop?
I don't know, a shop of any kind. He could do it with half the money his wife spends on horse races.
He's married?
Honey, would I be here if he wasn't married? How do I get this? Western Union. Western Union.
That's a dial phone, honey.
A dial phone?
Just dial O.
Oh?
O for operator.
Just get me a pen and a piece of paper. I've got to write it down. Let me see now. Darling Shep, sister and I are in desperate trouble.
I beg your pardon.
Sister and I are in a desperate situation. We'll explain details later. Would you be interested in... Would you be interested in... You never get away with direct proposals.
Don't be ridiculous, darling.
But I'll think of something. I have to think of something. Don't laugh at me, Stella. Please. I don't want you to look at my contents of my purse. Here's what it is. 65 measly cents.
Stanley doesn't give me a regular allowance. He likes to pay the bills himself, but this morning he gave me $10 to smooth things over. You take 5, Blanche, and I'll keep the rest.
Oh, no, Stella.
I know how it helps you having a little pocket money on you.
No, thank you. I'll just take to the streets.
How did you talk sense? How did you get so low on funds?
Money, it just goes places. Sometime today, I have got to get a hold of a bromo.
I'll fix you one now.
No, I have to keep thinking.
I wish you'd just let things go.
Stella, I can't live with him. You can, he's your husband. But how can I stay here after what he did with just those curtains?
Blanche, you saw him at his worst last night.
On the contrary, what I saw last night was his best. That's the only thing a man has to offer with such animal force. The only way to live with him is to sleep with him, and that's your job, not mine.
After you rest a bit, you'll see it's not as bad as it seems. And you're taken care of, well, for expenses.
But I have to take care of us both, to get us both out of here.
You're taking for granted the fact that I'm in something I want to get out of.
I take it for granted that you have sufficient memory of Belle Reeve, that you find these poker players and this man impossible to live with.
You take entirely too much for granted.
Are you in earnest?
No.
I understand how it happened. A little. You saw him in uniform. An officer. Not here, but...
I'm not sure it would have mattered where I saw him.
Now, don't say it was one of those mysterious electrical things between people. If you do, I'll laugh in your face.
Well, then I'm not going to say anything more about it at all.
All right, then don't.
But there are some things that happen in the dark between a man and a woman.
What you're talking about is desire. Brutal desire. Like that streetcar that runs up and down the corridor. Down one narrow street and down another.
Haven't you ever ridden on the streetcar?
Yeah, it brought me here.
Then don't you think your superior attitude is a little bit out of place?
I'm not being at all superior. It's just this. This is how I look at it. A man like that is someone you go on one date with. Maybe 2. 3 if the devil's in you. But marry, live with, have a child by?
I have told you. I love him.
Then I tremble for you. I just tremble.
Well, I can't help if you insist on trembling.
May I speak plainly?
Yes, speak as plainly as you want.
Well, if you'll forgive me, he's just common.
Well, yes, I suppose he is.
Suppose? You can't have forgotten that much of our bringing up, Stella. You just suppose that any part of a gentleman's in his nature? Not one particle. No. Oh, if he was just ordinary. Just plain, but good and wholesome. But no. There's something downright bestial about him. You're hating me saying this, aren't you?
Go on and say it all, Blanche.
He acts like an animal. He has animal's habits. Eats like one, moves like one, talks like one. There's even something subhuman, not quite to humanity yet. Yes, something ape-like about him. Like one of the pictures I've seen in the anthropological museums. Thousands and thousands of years have gone by, and there he is, Stanley Kowalski, all before the Stone Age, bearing the raw meat home from his kill in the jungle. And you here waiting for him. Maybe he'll strike you, or maybe he'll grunt and give you a kiss. That is, if kisses have been invented yet. And this poker night, you call it, this party of apes. Somebody growls, some creature snatches at something, the fight is on. God, maybe we're a long way from being made in God's image, but Stella, my sister, there's been some progress since then. Such as art, as poetry and music, such as kinds of new light that have come into the world since then. In some kinds of people, some tenderer feelings have had some little beginning that we've got to make grow and cling to and hold as our flag. In this dark march to what we are approaching, don't hang back with the brutes.
Hey, Stella!
Stanley!
Stella,